The 19th Century Congress of the Communist Party of China, or the CPC, which ensured a second term of Xi Jinping, consolidated his position as the most powerful Chinese leader in decades. It was held as a little less than 2 months after Chinese President and the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, decided in their Xiamen meeting to take a forward-looking approach beyond the Dokalam episode. Continuity in the Chinese leadership is expected to further outcome of the Xiamen meeting held on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit. Yet, even as the two sides engage in a series of dialogues, all eyes in Delhi are on an aggressive approach to fulfill the Chinese dream as exposed by the Xi. Initiatives launched by Xi, including the One Belt One Road initiative, will certainly gain further momentum in the next few years. Delhi, along with others, will be closely watching the pace of the executions of the mega plan, whose ends goals still remains unclear. However, coupled with the People's Liberation Army, or the PLA, modernization drive can be seen as an attempt to shape geopolitics through aggression. Beijing since 2008 has shown scant respect for the global rules-based orders, including international maritime law, and the Xi's second terms is unlikely to be exception. A possible counterbalance will be engagement with Beijing, as well as the steps to hedge China by the like-minded nations. Over the past 25 years, India and China have attempted to seek convergence in the areas of interest, including WTO and the climate change, and to manage differences that include the Sino-Pac axis and disputed boundaries with an aim to overcome the effect of 1962 India-China battle. The approach has worked well, although marked by the provocations from Beijing from time to time, whether it's being regarded as stapled visas, refusal of visas to the senior Indian Army personnel, or the three major trans-aggressions along with the line of control or the line of actual control since 2013. That includes Dokalam, or the Chinese-Pakistani economic corridor that passes through the line of control. Criticism of India's ties with Dalai Lama and later a visit to Arunachal Pradesh has also been sharper in recent years. But to manage the relationship, several bilateral conference building measures have been put in place. Today, India and China have far greater mechanisms than before. BRICS, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, or the RIC, Russia, India, and China, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO, and even the G20 and the East Asia Summit to engage to build better ties. The economic partnership was witnessed a steady growth, but the Chinese firms are yet to take full advantages of the opportunities that India is offering. Coming December, and India will get a sense of China's approach towards it when the foreign minister visits Delhi. This will be the first political visit from China in months, and the first since the PLA attempted to forcibly change the status quo of Dokalam. The message that Wang carries from Xi will be closely monitored. In China, the messaging and the gesture carry immense significance. As evident from the 19th Party Congress, the personality cult has made a comeback in China, and Xi Jinping will loom large in Sino or the Sino-India relationship. He has a complete control over all the Chinese state organs of the power, from CPC to the PLA, and its impact will be felt on Beijing's ties with the US, Japan, and India. Xi Jinping's hard power strategy is expected to gain further momentum in his second term, as he feels that China's time has come to assert itself on the global stage and emerge as a superpower. This is in the backdrop of Xi Jinping asserting at the Party Congress that China has framed a new world order. China may not be able to retreat from its global objectives, nor can the US, Japan, or India afford to concede a space to China. Xi Jinping also can't overtake or overlook that India is on a growth strategy and needs necessary space to fulfill its ambitions. It is here that the Chinese president's wisdom will be tested. So what do you think of India emerging a greater power equal to China and also putting so much to counter China's geopolitics through aggressions or with its economy?
Greater Accra metropolitan area is one of the fastest growing city regions in West Africa and a major engine of economic growth. Out of the 4.4 million people living within the metropolitan area, about 90% live in urban spaces. Unfortunately, the massive influx of people into the area has caused a lag in the implementation of needed plans and policies. Basic services and infrastructure are under pressure, as evidenced by the presence of informal settlements in 40% of the built-up area, the limited coverage of sewerage and solid waste services.
Bola ne dio modi kunye obi man so to kwa otumi finifie ne wa behwe bola no egugota ne mu ewe area ha mu
Xi Jinping area name ni toilet be ne sananya fe toilet Xi ko ni chemo bomote Xi enya Xi so bana ka mefe na ka meteshe ka menya ke roba mi ka ba ugota mi.
Lavina Owusu of the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation confirms the problem.
There's the issue of waste management, poor solid and liquid waste management. We have a sanitation problem in this country.
Rapid urbanization in and of itself is not a bad thing. It presents great development opportunities as long as city planners are able to keep up with the needed planning and provision of infrastructure and services. It is only then that they can harness the positive outcomes of urban growth.
The rate of urbanization is so rapid, so there's a lot of congestion in the cities. There's also the inability of the city authorities to plan to keep pace with the population growth.
Flooding is a dominant shock in all MMDAs due to its frequent recurrence and heavy impact on lives and properties.
Nsolutoa minyanka mumu tembi wa ha se no be hu se se na ha ne ye no anyi na yiri se river kese bi ewura nkrofo fie from top up to down ewura nkrofo fie.
Over the years, what we have done is to respond to the shocks, the floods as they come. When it comes, as it happened in June 2015, it's a crisis, and everybody, all hands on deck. We tackle it, it stops, and we leave it.
The floods of June 3rd, 2015 are still fresh in people's minds as a reminder that can take place unexpectedly.
It was a real crisis. We realized that no, we can't just do this one-stop thing and stop. We better look for a long-term solution to this because the frequency and intensity, as I said, have been increasing.
The government requested support from the World Bank to examine the level of resilience of Ghana as an urban system and better understand Ghana's exposure to risk. Mr. Henry Kirali of the World Bank describes the bank's recommendations to making Ghana a more resilient city.
There are 4 areas of focus that this particular city strength diagnostic did. The first was to improve metropolitan integration, the planning and coordination between the various agencies. The second was to integrate urban flood control, the forecasting, and being able to model and know which areas will be affected the most. And then the third is to enhance the resilience of vulnerable communities themselves. And then finally, to be able to forecast future what happens. If we can forecast the extent of rainfall that is coming, if we can forecast other types of, then we can put in place a mechanism to manage these.
The government is keen to address the problem once and for all.
One of the topmost priorities of this ministry is to ensure that we do not have rain-induced floods with attendant problems of property and sometimes of individuals.
A modern drainage system is at the heart of the solution.
The drainage issue in the Greater Accra region should be tackled with all seriousness. In fact, what we're doing are just palliatives. We touch the surface and walk away. We think that next year will never come. But this is a rain-induced flooding. So if we are weather sensitive, we know that this problem, unless we tackle it from the roots and give a permanent engineering solution to it, this thing will be there forever.
The new commitment is to a long-term approach.
One way to minimize is to have proper long-term engineering plans that we can say this infrastructure will be able to take care of this city for the next 50 years.
Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.